What if extinction isn't the end? In the thickest jungles, the deepest oceans, and the most forgotten corners of the earth, whispers still echo of animals long thought dead. A flash of stripes in the Tasmanian bush, a strange knock deep in a Louisiana swamp, a ripple in a polluted river that shouldn't be there. Extinction is supposed to be the end, but what if it isn't? Across the globe, scientists, locals, and explorers continue to report sightings, sounds, and signs that challenge what we think we know. Some are hoaxes, others just mistakes, but a few are too strange to ignore. So the question is, did they disappear, or did they just disappear from view? In the flooded forests of the American South, something might still be knocking. The Ivory-billed Woodpecker, once one of the largest woodpeckers in the world, was declared extinct in the mid-20th century. Its habitat had been logged to near destruction. Its numbers dropped. By the 1940s, it was all but gone. By the early 2000s, most scientists agreed it was officially extinct, but the forest may not have given it up just yet. Over the last 2 decades, a series of tantalizing clues have reignited belief. Birdwatchers, biologists, and even government-backed researchers have reported seeing a large black and white woodpecker in the swampy forests of Louisiana, Arkansas, and Florida. Camera traps have captured blurry images. Drones have recorded video. Most compelling of all, the double knock sound, an audio signature nearly unique to this species, has been picked up deep in the woods. In 2023, a peer-reviewed study reignited the debate, presenting years of drone footage and sound recordings from remote Louisiana forests. The evidence wasn't perfect, but it was just enough to keep the mystery alive. Still, many experts remain skeptical. They say the footage is too grainy. The sounds could be another species, the sightings, wishful thinking. But then again, what if they're wrong? The ivory-billed woodpecker has become more than a bird. It's a symbol of hope and of how much wilderness remains unexplored, even in our own backyard. Could a creature that once echoed through America's forests still be alive, just beyond the edge of our reach? Up next, we're heading to China's Yangtze River, where whispers of a vanished river dolphin still ripple beneath the surface. But before we get there, if you're enjoying this deep dive into lost creatures and living legends, leave a like or drop a comment. It really helps the channel grow, and I'd love to hear what you think. Let's keep the hunt going. In the murky waters of China's Yangtze River, something silent might still be watching. The Baiji, or Yangtze River dolphin, was once called the goddess of the Yangtze. For thousands of years, it swam alongside fishermen, appearing in Chinese folklore as a symbol of grace and protection. But by the late 20th century, it was vanishing. Industrialization, damming, boat traffic, and pollution tore through its habitat. In 2006, after an intensive search turned up nothing, the Baiji was declared functionally extinct. But then, a year later, a man filming on the river claimed to have captured a brief glimpse of a pale creature surfacing, a dorsal fin breaking through the brown water. Experts couldn't confirm it was a Baiji, but they couldn't rule it out either. Since then, local fishermen and rivergoers have reported rare sightings, flashes of white, shapes beneath the surface. In 2016 and again in 2018, underwater microphones picked up strange high-frequency clicks, possibly echolocation from a dolphin species thought to be gone. The Yangtze is massive, fast-moving, and heavily trafficked, making detection incredibly difficult. And while its ecosystem is under pressure, there are still remote stretches where a small population could survive. Some believe the Baiji is truly gone, others believe a handful may remain, silently navigating the river they once ruled. If the Baiji is alive, it would be one of the rarest mammals on Earth, and one of the greatest conservation stories never told. What's more haunting than extinction? Survival, just out of sight. In the wilderness of Tasmania, some locals still swear they've seen stripes vanish into the underbrush. The thylacine, also known as the Tasmanian tiger, was once the apex predator of Australia's island state. It wasn't a feline, but a marsupial, more closely related to kangaroos than cats. It had a stiff gait, a dog-like head, and a striped lower back, like a tiger wearing hiking boots. After European settlement, the thylacine was hunted relentlessly, accused of killing livestock. By 1936, the last known specimen died in captivity. The species was declared extinct, but that's not the end of the story. Since the 1940s, hundreds of the sightings have been reported, often in remote mountainous regions of Tasmania and even in mainland Australia. Witnesses describe the same stiff-legged walk, the same distinctive stripes. Some reports come from park rangers and scientists. Several recent studies have even tried to map sighting hotspots using modern tools like predictive habitat modeling. In 2021, a team using trail cameras in a remote region of northern Tasmania captured images of an animal that doesn't quite match anything else living in the area. It wasn't confirmed, but it wasn't dismissed either. Why might it still be out there? Tasmania has rugged terrain, deep forests, and plenty of hiding places. A small nocturnal population could feasibly go undetected for decades, especially one that's shy and avoids humans. Of course, many sightings could be mistaken identity, dogs, foxes, or even wombats. But the sheer consistency across time and location keeps the legend alive. Is the Tasmanian tiger really gone? Or is it simply keeping its distance, surviving in the shadows of the island it once ruled? Deep in the Amazon, there are stories of a creature the locals call the mapinguari, a massive foul-smelling beast that walks on two legs, crashes through the jungle, and leaves behind enormous claw marks. Scientists believe it might not be pure myth. Long before European explorers arrived in South America, the continent was home to ground sloths, giant relatives of today's tree sloths. Some species, like Mylodon or Megatherium, could reach the size of a small car. They vanished around 10,000 years ago, likely due to climate shifts and human hunting. But their legacy didn't disappear with them. Indigenous tribes across Brazil and Bolivia have described encounters with a red-haired, one-eyed creature with backward-facing feet and a thunderous roar. While that sounds like legend, many of these descriptions eerily resemble what a large surviving ground sloth might look like from a distance. In the 19th and 20th centuries, explorers found what looked like fresh dung, giant tracks, and even preserved skin fragments in caves that dated far later than expected. One cave in Argentina contained Mylodon skin with intact hair and collagen, once thought impossible for something truly ancient. Modern researchers remain skeptical. The jungle is filled with misidentified animals, and stories evolve over time. But the Amazon is also vast and largely unexplored. With dense canopy cover and thousands of square miles barely touched by science, could a reclusive herbivore have slipped through the cracks? No modern ground sloth has ever been conclusively found. But the idea that something so massive and so ancient might still roam the rainforest is enough to keep the search alive.